And hello to all my Gemini friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for February 2023. Now today they have dialed up for you a Celtic cross spread. It is a great spread for general readings because it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but it focuses the most on what is going on right here, this thing we call February, guys. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes an entire position, a card here, placement for the environment. So there's something important in your environment going on around you in the month of February that Spirit wants to bring awareness to or bring your attention towards. So we're going to get into that. They've asked that I conclude your reading with no extra at the end. When that happens, usually the Celtic cross here is going to be packed chocked full of information, and that is why we don't do the extra, because we're spending all the time on the meat and potatoes of what Spirit wants to address, which is the Celtic cross. But we are going to conclude with a runestone that'll tie a nice little bow around this project that we call February 2023, and the cards are ready to go, guys. They're pre-shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time, and I'm going to bring you in my overhead camera so you can watch. I like to share my table with you guys so you can see what's going on. See what I'm working with. And we are on and recording. What I'm doing now, Gemini, you probably already know this if you've seen me do this before, but these are my ritual cuts. For anybody new tuning in, that's what this is. It basically satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot, and it is the same procedure for personal private readings, so it's just like you're here with me now. Now the Celtic cross does get a little tall, so I'm going to have to more than likely move the camera around so you can see the whole thing, but I will do that. But as far as laying the initial card work down, I'm going to do my best. Here we go. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's before you, the near past. This is what's in front of you, the near future. This is what's above you, probably off camera, something that you're aware of. This is what's below you, something that you're not aware of. This is running up the sides now with 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to bend in 10 for the sake of trying to get it in the camera. So there we go there. I don't do a whole lot to the Celtic cross except for my facings. I get make sure that my inverts aren't too much, and then I just get Oracle Angel cards for all the majors, and that pretty much wraps that up. So inverts first. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, not enough to matter. It's a good distribution there. The only thing I really need to do here is just a couple Oracle Angel cards, and it's all on the main cross. Then we got one here. Just gonna get one. These two are both major arcana cards. They're going to share one because they're kind of crossing each other. And then we got one here. And that's it, guys. Then it's just a matter of showing you on the camera, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to yank it off of here, and let's show you what we got. So this is your main cross right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's all in view, just to get the top, just so you can see it in case you didn't. And the bottom. 5 and 6. Then we got running up the sides here with number 7, which happens to be a 7, number 8, number 9, and number 10, final outcome of the month. So let's get to work. Let's do it, Gemini. You guys are the last sign that I'm reading for my readings for February. Congratulations on that. Spirit was a very last second decision for you guys on what spread we're going to do. I'm like, oh my goodness, don't delay it anymore. I'm going to be late with my readings. So they finally decided on the Celtic cross. So that number 8 position is going to be big because that's your environment. That's the main difference of the Celtic cross. In the Celtic cross is just a lot of information. So obviously they wanted to hit you with it. All right, Gemini. Starting at the very beginning. Well, let me just make sure I don't have people cards. I don't. Okay, perfect. Starting at the very beginning, we have the Devil card on an invert. So it's saying here that this is the breaking free. There is freedom going on, getting free from the devil. So maybe this is breaking some habits, getting more freedom and mobility than you used to have. Gemini, it is opening up. It's just like that ding sound on the airplane when you can move around the cabin. That's kind of what's going on in your February based on your year. So they do show a big breakthrough or breaking free of something here for a lot of my Geminis. They do show time to go. So if you have not broken free from whatever has got you handcuffed here, is holding you down, you got to do it. February is the time to do it. They show us that with the Empress because this is what crosses you here. For some of you, that could be in reference to a woman. But more than likely, this is a reference to the energetic definition, which is fertility, saying that, hey, this is the time. The time to go is what they gave me in the Oracle Angel card. You probably saw that in the overhead. And that's basically saying, hey, if you haven't done this, you need to do it. It's going to be too late before you know it. So the ground is ripe for these changes. And even if they are talking about a woman, I'm assuming she's helping these changes because she's on an upright. She's not upside down or, upset about something. So she's maybe part of this process in helping you get through whatever you're trying to get over here to create more freedom. And even if it's just freedom from a bad habit, like I said, because a lot of times the devil represents some kind of bondage that you don't like, being attached to somebody. So for some of you, you may actually be breaking free from other people or other things such as habits or a wide host of different things. So that's what they talk about first. That is what's front and center of February, guys. As we go back in time now, they show the strength card. So this is being courageous, and this is important for where you're at now. That's why they're talking about it, because you can't go back and change it. But it's a good thing, so you don't need to go back and change it. This is the strength card. So they're saying you have all the tools. You have everything you need to get moving with what you have currently. And of course, for the future. They do talk about that you've done the work already. So it makes me feel like whatever you're trying to do now, it's something that's been done before. I'm going to give you the example of smoking cigarettes. Maybe some of you, you're going to get the idea of where I'm going with this, even if you've never smoked a cigarette in your life. That's why I use this example. So if you, you used to smoke cigarettes 10 years ago and you quit for many, many years, and you know the trick. You know what tricked yourself into doing it, and you successfully did it, but then eventually, years later, you got back into it. Okay, well, you know it works. You've done the work before, and therefore, you can do it again. If you've done it before, you've already proven to yourself that you can do it again. So very nice, Gemini. Remember what you've done in the past, and focus on that as your strength. That is your crutch. That's what's going to help you get out of the initial phase that we just talked about. As we move into your future here, Gemini, they do show the Six of Swords on an invert. This could be the card about traveling. This could be saying that, travel plans are just a little bit delayed. They're pushed out a little further. The near future usually to me would mean March, maybe April. And being on a delay, this could be further than that. Now, this can also be that, things just get a little tough. It may not be about travel at all. This could be just a patch of the river that is very full of rapids. Just a very kind of throwing Geminis around to and fro. And this is, excuse me, this is just a rough patch coming up for some people. And it's letting you know this. So not to kind of get you deterred or get you off path. It's trying to get you to overcome is what it is. So it's basically saying, hey, be ready for some challenges because they're coming. Okay. And guess what? You have all the strength. You're well equipped. You have everything you need to overcome what is coming. As we go into the above position, here we're talking about something that you're very well aware of, and they bring in the car. They bring in the car here. I have a chariot upside down, which is transportation. It may not be car for everybody, but it's car for most. So it's upside down because it's in distress. It needs some work, something with the car, maybe needs some maintenance, repair, something like that. They bring in to be fair, so they want to make sure that you get either a good deal on this or that, nobody's being ripped off of their time, of their energy, something like that. So just a very nice, little bit of give, a little bit of take going on. They bring in to be fair. So whatever you got to do with this car, we got to get this car centered up here and squared away. Get your transportation straight. And they're saying you already know this, so I'm not telling you anything new. That's the good news. You just got to do something about it, whatever they're referring to. Maybe for some of you it's a new car. Maybe for some of you it's a trade-in, different things. And transportation can also move into other areas too. Some people get around on bicycles. Some people get around on motorcycles, etc. Now, before I get into your bottom position, this is one of my favorite positions in the Celtic Cross because here I'm about to tell you something you're not aware of. And before I get into it, I want to tell you about those moon cycles, also a brand new gemstone in the store in the month of February. Going to cut away for that real briefly, come back and tell you something you're not aware of. Okay guys, cutting in, here we go with some moon cycle forecast time. We have a huge lunar event going on in February. This is the third, the trifecta. It started in December, January, and now here we are in February. We get the third huge super new moon, but let's talk about that full moon first because that comes in first. It is a micro full moon, which means it's very small in the sky, but you can still use this energy to get anything out of your life that you don't want there anymore, whether it's a person, whether it's something to do with work or a project you just got to wrap up and get out, anything you need to sell or repurpose or even donate, all that stuff much better placed early in February under that full moon. Adversely, we have that huge new super new moon that brand new moon coming in on February the 20th, and this is the greatest opportunity for a while, guys, until August, to bringing in new things into your life. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to attract. The universe does not care. This could be new love you're trying to bring in. You're trying to do something brand new with health. Let's say you're trying to do something new with work, get a new job, get a new promotion, or anything in between. Like I said, the universe does not care. Using that manifestation power, though, it's going to be very, very strong. Middle of the month, moving toward late into February. February 20 is the key date there, but any time really bracketing around that is key for that. It's any kind of manifestation stuff, guys. You can really attract powerfully right now, and it's the best time to do it because, like I said, we don't get any big lunar activity until August, so this is kind of the last chance for the last dance. Here we go. So moon cycles are a big deal, and if any of this has confused you, or maybe you prefer just a little graphic aid, a little illustration, I put together a moon cycle cheat sheet, and it is always on my website, and it is always free. I have moved what page it's on, though. I'm now doing a page about stuff that I'm talking about page. So things that we're talking about, that's where you can find it, parked at the very top. That is your moon cycle forecast cheat sheet. Got to tell you about new things coming into the shop too. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, because my newsletter people get a couple free things every single year just by being signed up for it. I do giveaways on Facebook, and we want to follow both of those for sure. But let's talk about that new product in the shop. Every month I unveil a brand new product into the Scott Sagent shop on the website, and this is the month that we are doing another gemstone, and it's going to be tree agate. And this is a wonderful gemstone for February because it brings and attracts love into all of the chakras. It's not just one or two of them. It can bring it into all of them at the same time. Very calm stone too. It works very slowly, but its lasting effects are long. It's basically doing the turtle energy. Slow and steady wins the race, and therefore it is not a strong vibration stone. It is very easy to work with, very calm, very mellow. Even if you've never had a gemstone before or don't work with gemstones, tree agate is a wonderful one for you. And I just love the green and the white, to the fact where I'm showing you pictures here on the screen. I really am giving you two different lighting options here just so you can see it under different lighting, because it is very beautiful. I love how the green and the white swirls together. It reminds me when I'm in an airplane looking down on Mother Earth, the green and the trees, fade into just colors eventually, and the green and the white together. Actually, the more green the gemstone is, the more strong it is, and the more white the tree agate is, kind of the more mellow energy it is. So those are both available on the website. Well, I say both because it's available in small and in large. So we got two different sizes of tree agates available now. We got giveaways going on at the same time. We're still giving away the charm gemstone, and that is a random one, but that I'm flashing a picture of that on the screen too. That comes with every purchase of tree agate, or even the tiger's eye from last month. Any gemstone purchase comes with that, and also a little nylon case. You get to choose the color of that. So great stuff on the website every single month. New things, guys. So let's get back to your reading right now. Okay, Gemini, I am back with that bottom position, and what they want to tell you that you don't know, or that you don't see fully, is that you can really attract work right now. The work corner is like a magnet to you guys. You guys are really like Donald Trump energy, like businessman energy, okay? So take the political out of that and just use the businessman definition, the Donald Trump energy, okay? So this is being able to attract jobs, able to attract work, able to really kind of do two things at once. Maybe two different jobs, a different revenue stream, something like that is what they want to plant the seed of here. You guys can get some entrepreneurship going on. Now, work corner is a big place too. It is work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, learning anything new, hobbies and interests, anything in there can fall under this right here. So they're saying you really have the ability to attract it to you. So February is a good time to do that and to pursue just elevating yourself in whatever means you're trying to do in that work corner. Let's move into number 7, guys. Number 7 is your advice section. Advice section is really that there is just one way for you to do things right now. You got to worry about one thing at a time. You can't be too scatterbrained. You can't be trying to do 7 things or 700 things at the same time. You got to do one. Okay? Do that first, Gemini. Once you get it done, then you move on to number 2. Not number 2, 3 to 700 plus. Okay? You got to do one thing at a time. That is the advice. One path at a time too. So there's kind of just one way to go right now. It's not a confusing time because there's just there's not a whole lot of choice to it. It's just kind of circumstance perhaps, or this is the way, this is the path. You got one way to go here, so this is your path. So walk it. You know what to do, right? Number 8, this is your environment. And this is probably the reason they called for a Celtic cross. And remember, this was a last minute decision for my Geminis from Spirit. But they came together and decided that this was what was best for the biggest part of my audience. They talk about being a little abandoned in your environment, being out in the cold. Maybe being locked out of your house a day in February. Maybe something bad like that occurs, and it's it's not the whole month, of course. It's just maybe just a bad day, something like that. But here in your environment, I'm going to give you kind of a broader scale here. We're looking for the warm and fuzzy, and there is none. Okay, your environment's got to be straightened up. This is it's just way too isolated. I don't know if that means like you got to have people over, or you got to have a social life, or if just. You got to get on the ball with certain things, but your environment here is coming in as like you just out on an island by yourself, and they don't want that. You gotta have a nice little mix, a little balancing act going on. As we move up to number 9, this is your hopes and your fears, and this is obviously a hope is what they want to talk about, so that's good. At least Geminis are looking at the good side of things. Hope is a brand new purchase, more than likely a big fun one. That is the hope, so that is the goal. Okay, that's fine, and that's a good goal to have. Use that as motivation. Use that to get you through the struggle at the beginning. The car thing they talked about. Use it. Use the tools you have to move forward. You got rapids coming. No big deal. You're going to surmount them, and you're going to keep going. And here we got big purchase. So this is the goal, and this is usually a fun purchase too. It's something like a brand new car, a brand new TV. Something you're going to really enjoy. It's not like buying a new roof where it keeps the rain off you, but it doesn't do much else. It doesn't do much fun or entertainment. This is usually a much more fun purchase, maybe even a travel, something like that. So that's coming in as a hope. So that is the goal. Use it, guys. Use it. It's even, tricking yourself. People do that with their morning alarm clocks all the time. I don't need to get into tell you about that. You kind of know what I mean. So whatever tricks you got to do to yourself, use that, for positive motivation. And the way that we end your month here is just little stuff. It's just little stuff, and hopefully getting resolved, because this is the card that Spirit calls little stick fights, and that's what you're going through. It may not feel like that. It may feel like a big stick fight. It may feel like the world is ending. The sky is falling. For some of you, of course, not all of you, but they're letting you know here in this final outcome. Spirit is looking at this like this is little stupid human drama stuff. Why are they worrying about that? Why are they stressed out about that? Why are they depressed about that? Whatever it is for you. Okay, so that's how kind of Spirit's outlook. So they want you to kind of not change, but at least be a little light with yourself. Be a little light, find comedy in things when you're struggling. Laugh, even when it's hard to laugh. It's better to laugh than to cry, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So that's the final outcome of the month, is that it's just little stuff, guys. Just little stuff. Don't worry about it. Let's get into some runestone. It's going to cap off what has been a very interesting Celtic cross. I can see why they saved you guys for last, and why we have no extra, because it's just loaded. So, your runestone Gemini for February. It's going to be this one right here. Make sure I hold it the right way. I believe it goes like this, which is the runestone of separation. So, creating space between something here, putting some distance between certain things. Now, they did say that in the environment. So, I don't know if that's the advice or if that's what's going on, but they bring in separation. So for some of you, this could be an actual literal thing where you're getting separated. You're creating space from another person, maybe not your loved one. Maybe it's like from a friend who, turned out to be a backstabber, no good for you. Somebody toxic at work, blah, 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 blah. So we have separation going on, and this can really kind of fit in a lot of different spots. I'm trying to think what the best fit would be. The best, I guess, separation would be the very beginning. Whatever you're trying to free yourself from, that is where they really want your space. I keep doing this with my hands because it's like handcuffing. It's really what the devil card means. It's like really locking you into something that you do not want to be locked into, and you got to separate from it. Okay, so it makes me feel bad habit-like, but it could be a lot of different things for a lot of different Geminis, but they're calling for separation. So you got to create some space. And with that space, you got to do good things with it. We talked about the car. We talked about the big purchase as motivation, how to get there. We talked about the environment being off. Got to fix this environment. I don't know if separation is the way to do it or not, but you know what's best for you. Hopefully I've given you guys enough context that you can implement some really great changes into your February, because they're hitting you hard with all this for a reason, because you can handle it, number one. And number two, they're trying to get you to get over this hump, to better yourself, to make the next few months go a little smoother, because they're looking ahead down the path and they're saying, hey, look, there's one path here. There's not seven. You got one focus here that you got to get done. And if you don't, it's going to all heck is going to break loose. This is not going to be good down the road. So we need to give Gemini the kind of the crash course now and get them moving in February. So the rest of the stuff that we're looking at, it never happens at all. And they're just going through some little rapids instead of dropping down a free fall and a waterfall. Okay. So that is kind of the idea of this month, Gemini. It is damage, like fire sale, before the fire ever happens. It's, you guys are kind of reconstructing what is going to come later and really setting yourself up for success, I guess is the long story short. So that wraps up, guys, what has been a very interesting Celtic cross. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. That's it for me. Have a great February. Put this into play. Go hard at 'em.